Yeah, 7 views.
That's good though.
It's not good at all.
That's 7 more people than.
It's also 33 less.
I'm sure
than
five
of
those views, I'm sure, were us.
Got to start somewhere.
Yeah, I know. Like 2 of them were me, and one of them was my mom.
I got
Once again, watched the entire thing.
Yeah, one of them was me
in its entirety. Did you watch the whole thing?
I watched most of it. Like I skipped through certain parts, found different conversations. But
That's fair play. Welcome to the Hilariously Terrible podcast. This week we have Ryan Holtz,
Andrew Clark,
Ian Perry,
and Lucas Down B DeRider.
Down B. Is that
from Super Smash?
Super Smash?
Yeah.
That's correct. Your
Bros.
favorite fighting game.
It's fine.
No?
I can see the appeal. I just don't enjoy it. I never got that connected to the characters, unlike most people.
Fair enough.
Fuck Pikachu, right?
I
mean,
Pikachu.
my first console was an Xbox, and I feel like everyone just was like some sort of Nintendo.
N64
Or
for life.
PS. A lot of people had PS2s for
Yeah.
the first one.
Mine was
As the first
GameCube.
one?
Yeah. I mean, I had a GameCube. I always wanted the PS2, but
My first console was a GameCube after they already discontinued it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I just like bought a bunch of used games. I'm like, wow, this is great. Everyone else is on their PS3 and shit.
You ever beat Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness?
No, absolutely not.
You never beat that game?
No.
That game's so fun.
Absolutely.
I love that game as a kid.
I'm so bad at all Pokemon games.
How can you be bad at Pokemon? You just throw them out there and you hit
that was
A.
easy.
You
That was-
hit tackle.
Pokemon's the easiest.
That was
Water
the very
gun.
first Pokemon game I ever played. I'm like, wow,
Flamethrower.
I'm bad at this. I'm not good at like.
Picking a team.
I'm not good at
Strategy.
Literally, you just pick
Oh.
5. You just pick 6 people
And
that can kill.
It comes out.
What? You pick 6 people that can kill.
Oh no, that was
You
definitely
pick
a
6 of the
fantasy
same damn. Pick 6 of the same Pokemon. You kill it.
Actually, a great. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
we'll go right after this. But before we get into any topics, I just want to acknowledge that during editing of the last video, I realized that I say like so often that it is embarrassing.
Like how often?
Yeah, exactly. It's terrible. Like, I wish that I could just not keep saying it, but like, it's so hard. It is the worst
You're from
habit.
California. What can you
We're
do?
all-
I don't
We're all
know
pretty
what-
bad at it.
Well, I think Lucas said it sometimes, but for the most part, you two were pretty decent.
I don't know what that
And I
word
think I
means,
just
so I
said,
don't use it.
like, as I was explaining that, it's just so ingrained, so I really need to make a concerted effort to
Not
use it at all. And if you guys can, please call me out. not if it
We'll be
derails
the
the
like
story.
police.
Not if it derails the story, but
How
You know.
do we call you out? Is there something you want us to do? Like,
Slap.
just
Pinch him in the arm.
give me a little. I got that. I
Okay.
heard that. One of those. It should be good.
Give him a little love
seems mean.
tap.
like
What-
pull out one single
Uh,
one there.
I will have no hairs left at the end of this podcast. That is how bad that habit was, and I must sound like a moron. Like there was.
Oh, like any of us are any better.
I tried
No.
to stop myself, but it kept coming out.
Probably the person that I know that says like the most is Jade. She's behind the camera right
The
now.
call out there.
It's fine if it's just personal communication, but when you're on camera, it needs to be a little bit more
Professional.
refined, a little bit less.
I didn't notice it because it is just one of those
Professional.
Well,
Did I peek it?
No, you didn't peek it.
Damn.
Why do you got to get so close to the mic?
Because it's this inverse square law. The closer you get, the louder the sound.
Yeah, but I have it balanced to be there. So
Well,
if,
that's
if
why I
you
want to get closer to peek it.
Well, you don't want to peek it.
I was
that
trying to
sounds
peek
bad.
it there. No, absolutely. You got to cut it out.
The mic's always peaked on the Hilariously Terrible podcast.
100% of the time, 99% of the volume. We're just screaming. It doesn't even matter. All right. So Lucas had a topic. Let's get us rolling.
I have a topic rolling off of the video game opening that we didn't plan whatsoever.
Actually didn't.
How do you guys feel about the announced, well, at the day of recording this news, that Rockstar is making Red Dead Redemption 2?
I saw the
like
tweet, the Twitter. It was like a
Yeah.
little reveal, right?
Mm-hmm. And
just-
coming out November 2017 now.
I woke up
Really?
in the morning
Yeah.
a couple days ago and Lucas just had his laptop turned as I like walked into the living room.
He was naked. Naked jerk.
Oh,
It was the red image, like
don't
the red,
bang on the table.
No
the
bang.
red dusty
That was the other
image.
thing I forgot to tell you.
No bang.
You were doing that, and it peaked it every time.
I don't think you have to worry about Ian banging.
Whew, shots fired.
Damn.
I don't like it.
You don't like Red Dead?
2?
I
Why?
not.
You don't like the game, or you don't like the announcement?
You
I
don't
don't like the name
You don't like Red
What are
Dead
they gonna
Redemption?
call
because
it?
it's the third game.
Yeah, but it's like the
There was
second
Red Dead
real one.
Revolver, Red Dead Redemption, and now Red Dead Redemption 2.
But wasn't Revolver like a different
No,
story?
Red Dead Redemption has nothing to do with Red Dead Revolver, other than
than
it's
the
a
Western.
spiritual successor.
Yeah.
So it's like Modern Warfare 2. It's like within the same series. I just said it's within the same series, but what's it
no,
called?
No, it's not even the same series. It's just Rockstar made a cowboy game a long time ago, and they're like, let's make another cowboy game, and let's give it a name similar because of
They
nostalgia.
couldn't have
It's
done
not
like
similar.
Red
That's
Dead.
the same.
What? No, Red Dead Revolver, like...
I know, but it's
Oh,
Red
it's
Dead. So
I think it's
I
just
mean,
like
that's
a
why they
Western
named
theme.
it that. It was just
Yeah.
for the lulz.
They couldn't
the
have called it
nostalgia.
Red Dead Resurrection, Red Dead Revolution, fucking Red Dead Revengeance. I don't care.
First off, they haven't announced anything about it.
I think they're just another game coming out.
No,
no, they announced it today. That
What?
it's going to be Red Dead Redemption 2, November 2017.
I mean, it is technically
wow.
a second redemption if
almost
it's the same.
Almost over a year
yeah, it's
away.
over a year away.
Wow.
I didn't know it was that
I was
far
also
out.
surprised by that. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'm just spoiled by Bethesda with the Fallout 4, where they're like, "Hey, we're there all saying,
Okay.
hey, Fallout 4, it's gonna be cool," and then it felt like the next day, it felt as though
As if?
3 months later there was a new game.
I mean, there was.
It especially
What
pretty
Bethesda
cool.
game came
it
out?
especially feels
Fallout 4,
Fallout
like
4.
Oh.
When they announced it, it came out 3 months later.
Yeah.
But when they announced GTA 5, it was over a year until it came out.
well,
Yeah.
the difference.
GTA 5 is a little crazy though.
But Red Dead Redemption is on the same sort of scale.
it's literally going to be
I don't
GTA
think
as
so.
I think Red Dead Redemption
West.
2 will.
right. Yeah, it'll
Well,
probably be bigger.
what was Red Dead Redemption 1's contemporary in the GTA series? Was it San Andreas?
It came out like 2 or 3. I just did it again. 2 or 3 years after GTA 4.
GTA 4 is a bigger scale than Red Dead, isn't it?
But it's Red Dead is a much
Red
bigger
Dead
game.
Redemption. Red Dead Redemption's way bigger. Like GTA 4 was actually not that big in terms of like the actual map. It was just like a lot of
I'm
like
not talking about map. I'm just saying like as
Content?
far as a game.
In terms of square
I've
miles,
always thought
GTA
Red Dead
4 is
was
probably
definitely
bigger.
below
Red Dead's
GTA.
huge.
Well,
Red
you
Dead
ride
is
on
big.
horses and you walk and take coaches and stuff. You don't have like fighter
I'm not
jets.
talking about map once again. I'm talking about like scale in the game, and I said like again.
Yeah, yeah.
Like Skyrim for Bethesda versus Fallout. Like
Mm.
inarguably, Skyrim is higher on the pecking order, and I always considered Red Dead to be below.
Red Dead Redemption is pretty large. It probably was the biggest Rockstar game until GTA 5.
Yeah.
If you guys
It's huge.
It came out after that far after GTA 4.
a little bit of a tangent, but have you guys seen the trailer for like the Skyrim remaster they're putting out?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, which
It's
one?
It is
It's just comparing
Yeah.
everything.
No,
side
no,
by
no.
side.
Like they
there
actually
another
made
one?
a cinematic one. I
Oh.
just saw on YouTube the
I
other
didn't
day.
see it.
It's like an ember falls out of the sky and like lights a stack of hay on fire. Then a bunch of people start freaking out. Then somebody knocks over a pail full of oil or something, and that makes the fire like spread out even more. And people are running out of the city, getting trampled and everything. And at the very end, like you see the. I said like.
You said
Oh, a
like
few
5
times.
times in there.
Oh, a few times.
I don't think I did, but okay.
You
Oh,
did.
we
Might
were
have-
taking
But
notes.
wait a second.
Take it out in editing, we'll be fine.
Nope.
But it's hilarious to me because there's mass panic, and you never even see the dragon or the player character.
That's fair.
Oh.
It escalates to such a point without anything even happening, and yeah, I found that hilarious.
Yeah.
So my
Sorry.
topic for today is, what is your favorite movie pre-1975? And I say 1975 partially because my class Contemporary Hollywood Cinema starts at 1975 with Jaws, and also because I have two of my favorite movies are from the year 1975, which is Monty Python and the Holy Grail and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And those were both exactly on 1975. So anyone before those,
Ooh.
what is your favorite film? I can start it off if you guys need to think. My favorite film is a 1956 film from the French New Wave by Robert Bresson called A Man Escaped. And it is about a French resistance fighter who is captured by the Nazis, and his attempts to escape. I said life. Attempts to escape a prison cell that was put forward by the Nazis, obviously. And basically, it encompasses a very small space, so you feel really claustrophobic and you're really associated with the character. And then there is a lot. This is too hard, man.
Not saying like.
You
Yeah.
can use like if it makes sense in the context of
Yeah,
the
but I
sentence.
would have said there's a lot of like, and that's not
There's a
correct.
lot of
That is very wrong.
Yeah, no, that's not.
So there's a lot of alignment with the character, basically. There's a lot of sound that goes into it with footsteps and such, like going outside of the cell and pacing, and it's terrifying, and it's so well done. And then there's a mystery because he gets a cellmate, and he has to decide whether to clue the cellmate in on his escape or whether to kill the cellmate before he can make his escape, like whether or not he can trust him, and I said like again. So basically, whether or not he can trust him, and it's just a thrilling ride all the way through, and I was really happy with it for a 1956 film.
It's a great movie.
So, all right, Lucas, you were researching. What's yours?
The one I was going to go for that came out in 1976, so I can't go with that one.
Nope.
I think I just showed Ian the one he's going to go with, though. So
No.
if he wants to talk about that while I research, or do you
No,
have one already?
I have one.
Go for it.
So I'm gonna pick The Third Man. Orson Welles is in the movie. It's I think it's 47. It was right after World War II. I think it's filmed in Austria because they got to use like the aftermath from World War II, and it basically is about this writer who goes to visit who he believes is his friend is dead, and basically a whole story ensues of who is this friend that he has, and then there's this lady, and it's pretty good. I think it's English as well. I think the film.
No, it is definitely in English.
Yeah,
Without
it's.
a doubt. It's an American production.
Well, no, I thought it was like English production. I thought it was
Oh.
a British company that did it.
Oh, I thought you meant it was in English.
No. Well, no,
It is in English.
It is in English.
All the actors
Very
are
much.
American.
Yeah,
So.
which I didn't make, but I thought it said like British films of blah blah blah.
Oh.
Anyways, not to spoil anything, it's a pretty cool movie.
Really good.
Pretty well done.
Orson Welles from Kenosha, Wisconsin.
His acting is on point. There's a
From
Ferris
West
Wheel
Side Story.
scene.
Wait, Orson Welles as in the guy that wrote 1984?
No, that's
Not Orson Scott
George
Card.
Orwell.
Yeah,
George Orwell. Okay.
Yeah, no. Orson Welles did Citizen Kane.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
That's
his
his most
masterpiece.
famous,
Okay.
Orson Welles, but he is from Kenosha, Wisconsin.
which is cool.
He's local, which is pretty awesome.
And he's probably one of the greatest actors.
Oh, director, he's more revered for,
That's
but acting, he's very solid.
He did the Ferris wheel scene. I'm telling you, that was good.
It's solid.
It was killer.
All right, Lucas, who do you got?
I would have gone Taxi Driver, but I just checked that out,
That's
and
gotta be
1976. Yep. Yeah.
Just struggling.
So that sucks.
The key is definitely to go pre-70s, to think about something
Yeah.
from the pre-70s, because odds are it'll be.
Do you know any black
After.
and white
I
films?
think Wizard of Oz count.
mm,
I think I have to go with The Godfather, though.
there you
I
go. That's
mean-
72, right?
Yeah, I believe
Yeah.
so. And I mean, you're probably going to think of something to counter this, but Godfather, I think, really holds up.
Yeah, no, I agree.
No, it does.
It 100% does. It established so many conventions, but it did it in its own special way, which is rare, because films like Citizen Kane, for example, they establish all these conventions, but then they've since succumbed to the conventions over the period of time, because so many people have copied them
Yep.
that they're just completely worn out, and you don't even realize the spectacle of it all. Where I feel like The Godfather, it establishes the conventions, but then it kind of has flair that I said like, darn it, I was doing very well for a long time. It establishes the conventions, but I think it did it so specifically that the movies felt as though, like the movies afterwards, say Goodfellas and stuff like that, couldn't copy those specific conventions without being called out.
I actually read.
Stop looking at this one.
Actually,
You were
read-
looking at my screen the entire last podcast, so don't do that either.
I actually
Look at
read
the people you're talking to.
A couple people, a description of actually shooting Citizen Kane, and it's crazy some of the stuff they had to do to get the angles in,
Oh,
like
yeah.
cutting floor. They had to cut
It's
floor, cut holes in the bottom of the set so they could get specific angles, and just it's stuff that would be insane by today's standard.
Mm-hmm.
But when they did it, this was 100-pound equipment.
Yeah.
And it's unbelievable.
It's really cool. I mean, Orson Welles is definitely just his films are just completely. He was an auteur. He was, in every definition of the word, I'm doing it my way.
Mm-hmm.
You are going to help me achieve this vision, or you are out of here.
Oh, also anything by Kubrick from pre-1975. Also a fan of
I
that.
don't know which ones of his films were pre-1975, actually, off the top of my head at least.
The Shining's got to be close, but
Oh,
I thought The
think
Shining was the
Shining's-
80s.
Yeah,
80s.
80s.
Somebody-
Space
That's
Odyssey
Nicholson.
then.
Somebody
What?
made 86.
Space Odyssey then, and whatever the War Room, Doctor Strangelove.
Oh, Doctor
Dr.
Strangelove was
Strangelove.
definitely.
Ooh, yeah, that's good.
Doctor Strangelove.
Space Odyssey's got to be. I thought that was late 70s.
Was it?
I can check what.
Yeah.
Andrew, what do you got?
Andrew, what you got?
Well, it was going to be All Quiet on the Western Front, but I was just looking that up, and apparently it was made in 1979.
Ooh.
I could have sworn it was from
Afterwards.
the 60s.
Hmm?
I was not good at dating my movies. And then it was going to be this movie that I saw in a law class from the 30s that I cannot find the name of.
Is it about a bunch of dudes arguing in a room?
It was
It's
not
12
12
Angry
It was
Men.
not 12 Angry
That's
Men.
not from the 30s.
No.
No.
Andrew's not that bad at
No.
dating his movies.
No.
Law, Angry Men.
Or actually,
Yeah, but
actually the
50s, 30s.
it was from the 40s. Not
What's
that
the
I think of it.
difference?
But I cannot remember what it was called.
Darn.
So I guess I'm gonna have to go with Goldfinger.
Ooh.
007 Goldfinger
There
from
you
go. Cool
like
movie.
1964, just because it's
It's a
fun.
solid film.
Fun. There's a woman whose name is Pussy Galore.
That's when James Bond became James Bond.
Yeah.
I think. It's right. I mean,
It's
may
pretty
be,
classic Bond.
I may be completely upsetting so many fans of the series, but to me, Goldfinger is the first.
Sean Connery,
Yeah.
best
Real
James Bond,
No,
He's the most iconic, I would
The OG.
say.
Yeah.
But
he's the most James Bond,
Yeah.
James Bond, but he's not the best.
Goldfinger and Thunderball, I think, are the most James Bond movies.
Who's the
that they've ever
best
made.
James Bond?
Performance-wise,
Yeah.
Mm.
Where are you gonna go with this?
you know who I'm going.
I
with.
think so.
Are you
Obviously.
Are you going with Daniel Craig?
Yeah.
In terms of acting,
Yeah,
yes, he's
in terms
absolutely
of
the
acting
best.
and performance-wise, and not taking you out of the film with his
No.
ridiculous, over-the-top antics. It's
Looks
100%
like
Daniel
Christmas
Craig.
came early this year.
Yeah, it's terrible, some of the lines and everything like that. But he's the most Bondy, whereas Daniel Craig is a completely new direction for
He's
the
the
series.
least Bondy, but he's obviously the best actor that ever played James Bond.
I would say so.
1968, 2001: A Space Odyssey came out.
68.
Nice.
Yeah.
That is old.
Yeah, I had a feeling it was 60s. I didn't think it was 70s. But yeah, Kubrick. Kubrick's another one of those auteurs. He 100% his way or the highway. No in between.
All right, next topic, kind of a natural progression from that. What is your favorite television character?
Ooh, television character.
Should I lead off with
I'm gonna
mine?
give
Do
it
you
a
guys
thought,
need
so
a
you can
minute?
go ahead and lead us off.
My favorite character, and this might piss a couple of you off, Roger Smith from American Dad.
Wow.
I love him
No.
because the writers can put Roger in any situation and it works.
See, for me, I think that's lazy writing because they're like, all
think
right,
that's lazy?
we need a Russian like spy, and it's
Yeah.
gonna be Roger.
I
We
like
need-
Roger.
They
we
can
need
tell
an
any
extremely
storyline,
flamboyant gay
though.
man. Like I just think that's lazy writing. I think they wanted to make a character that would just make it easy for them to have these ridiculous storylines in each episode.
Well, you move your right foot.
You say
You're on the mic
ridiculous.
stand.
I say creative and
No.
fun
You
and
were.
original and awesome, and your opinion is invalid, Andrew.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
I'm still struggling with mine. So,
Why don't you
anyone else
go,
got
Ian?
one?
You want to go first or?
I mean, like I can, but just natural progression.
Okay, by natural progression, then I'll pick Eric Cartman.
Oh, Jesus.
I would have bet
Come
money
on.
with
Do
one
you
of
know how
Walter
much
White.
television has been on the air
Absolutely.
You
over
guys
the
are
course
like-
of
There's a
history?
lot
You-
of. Well, I was
you-
gonna pick Walter White, but then I was
holy
like, oh, wait
cow.
a second. What? Too loud?
Wait, no, what's wrong with Walter White?
No, nothing's wrong with Walter
You
White,
just-
but I
holy
just
cow.
assumed everyone was going to pick him because, like, oh, he's the most famous guy ever on
No.
television.
I wouldn't pick him, no.
All right, well, I guess I'm alone there, but I like Eric Cartman because it was funny how they decided, oh, we just want a character who we can like say racist things about, and we'll just make him a fourth grader, so it's okay, and then bam, yeah, Eric Cartman.
Again, to me, I just think that's lazy writing. They're like, we need a character that's just going to be totally ridiculous and the fire starter all the time.
I mean, he doesn't
Like, there's
always
not- there's
start
not
fires.
any-
He incites most of the
Yeah,
incidents.
this is the first
At least
season.
when they started off, especially.
This is the first season where he's gotten any depth because before it was just Eric Cartman is a racist asshole who's
No,
fat.
He's
and-
gotten
No,
a lot of
he's
depth
had
over
depth
20
before.
some years.
Yeah, and he's also
Yeah.
like, in the first 5 or 6 seasons, he wasn't necessarily like an evil character, other than he had some moments that we were dipping, but he went from like
Wait, when did
here.
The evil start.
Tennerman was like
Yeah,
4
when
or
did
5.
Scott Tenorman must die?
That's when he started to dip this way,
Yeah,
and then
but
he
when
started
was
to come
that?
back up
What season?
4 or 5.
Oh.
I mean, it's 20 years old now. It was created when we were born,
And
so
he's still like 8.
and he's still 8,
10? They're in the 4th grade.
10. I think it's. I think
okay.
they're 10-year-olds.
Stan's 10 at least.
Yeah,
That's the
no,
cool thing.
I think they're either 9 or 10.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, Andrew, what you get?
Well, I could go with something easy like Jon Snow, just because Jon Snow is pretty badass, even though he's not my favorite character in Game of Thrones. But I'm gonna go with Lorne Malvo from season 1 of Fargo
Oh.
from 2000, I think, 13. Yeah, 2013. Basically, like from what I've seen at least, he's the best villain on television. It was only one season because each season of Fargo is its own individual storyline, but he's just this sort of pure evil, maniacal, manipulative, extremely intelligent, like Hannibal Lecter-esque manipulation. Just really, really good.
Maybe literally the devil. We're not sure.
Yeah, there was a whole thing at the very end
Speculation.
where this guy just like snuck up behind him and like shot him in the stomach like 4 times, and then he died. And then he like got back up and started laughing, and then they shot him again. Spoiler
Jeez.
alert.
Yeah, big spoilers,
You
but
can't
Yeah.
do
It was
retroactive spoilers.
It was pretty. That's the big joke. It was pretty clear from the beginning of the series that like his arc had to end with him dying, just because he was like the pure iteration of evil. He just like his whole thing was like he likes to fuck with people. He like screwed over all of his bosses just to have fun, basically. Just really, really good character. Really good acting by Billy Bob Thornton.
And before Ryan goes, Andrew, I just want to let you know that answer was Aces.
Aces. That's a joke.
from the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, never watched Fargo.
Ooh, you should. It's good.
So I was going to say Frank Underwood, but then I remembered his monologues delivered directly to the camera, and
Not a fan?
no, it wasn't great.
Wasn't that David Fincher's idea? Not necessarily.
Yeah.
Well, it's the character, though, not
Don't cover
the
it
actor
enough.
that we're saying is the best.
I'm talking about the character. I'm not talking about Kevin Spacey.
Oh,
I'm talking
okay.
about Frank Underwood.
Okay.
And I did not like those, and it cheapened the character a little bit for me.
You didn't like the fourth wall breaking?
Yeah,
Okay.
I thought it was a little too. It
On
was
the
like,
nose?
oh, are you not sure what I'm doing by now? I'll tell you my motivations. And it was
Well-
like, how do we not? We already know your
I mean,
motivations. You're an
your-
evil dude.
Your favorite guy ever is Chris Nolan, though, whose plot points are always like explicitly like told to the audience.
They're not told to the audience. They're
Well,
not.
not
They're
in a
not.
fourth wall
They're not
breaking
talking to a guy, saying, "Oh, I'm sure this will be mutually beneficial for us." Turning to the camera and going, "Of course it won't be." It was so cheap and
So
like,
is Ferris
oh
Bueller's Day Off
boy.
just one long migraine for you then?
No, Ferris Bueller did it a little better.
Well, like fourth wall breaking doesn't like. I don't think he's saying it's bad.
Fourth wall breaking isn't bad. The
Like-
way that Frank Underwood's character was developed through fourth wall breaking, they did this during season 2. We already knew Frank Underwood's capabilities.
Oh.
He was, oh man, he is an evil guy. And then they would still deliver these monologues to the camera explaining his evil motivations. We could have figured him out.
Oh,
we
so
could have.
essentially-
Didn't he do that from the get go though?
Yeah, he did it from the
Okay.
get-go, and it kind of made sense, but I still didn't like it. And then they continued it, and it was awful because we knew his motivations. We knew that what he was talking about, like his maneuvering, wasn't for the greater good, and yet they would still feel the need to go aside and be like, hey, guess what, guys? I'm still evil. Like, it was really not well done.
So they're essentially talking dead in the middle of
Yeah.
the show.
No, I love the show. I like his character.
Talking
but
Dead.
every episode that they break the fourth wall is terrible. So there's my not favorite
Yeah,
character,
so
who was almost my favorite.
So who is your
My real favorite character is far and away Jaime Lannister from Game of Thrones.
Oh,
He
okay.
is the most intriguing character in that show by far, if you ask me, and just so well written. The reversal that people can do on that character, and still how divisive he can be. How some people are still completely against, and
'Cause
some
he-
people are still. Some people are like pro Lannister at this point. Like they want the Lannisters to win. How
Because
he can
of
be,
Jaime,
yeah,
yeah.
how he can be so divisive, well, having started off the way he did by literally pushing a a child out the window attempting to kill him. And then his arc has just been the most interesting
he had
thing.
a redemption arc, but he's still obviously a
He's a
Lannister.
neutral character. It's
Well,
so great.
There was a line this season where he's like talking to Edmure when he was tied up. He's like, "I'll bring your wife and your newborn child and murder them in front of you if you don't do what I want to."
Without a doubt.
It's like, because I don't care about you, I'll do it. Like, I'm crazy.
He is a true neutral character, which I feel like is really hard to pull off when you start him off the way he did.
Mm-hmm.
Because the whole first season is told through the perspective of the Starks, which makes the Lannisters
Look
evil.
really bad.
And so to reverse that, but not reverse it all the way, is one of the most interesting, like really well done characters.
Because he's
that I've
extremely
seen.
self-serving. Like, he has his motivations, but like his motivations aren't like evil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's self-serving, but sometimes he's not.
Yeah, like
and
he can still be a nice guy to people that he respects.
It's really, really interesting, and I can't get enough of him. He's definitely one of my favorite.
Love me some Lannister.
storylines. Yeah, well, not all of them.
Jamie Lannister.
A couple of them.
Yeah.
I wasn't the biggest fan of Cersei still.
About
but-
50-50 with the ones that are left.
Lucas, hit us up with another one.
Oh, putting this on me. But I do have another one that really ties into what we were just talking about because I'm awesome like that.
Yeah.
What are your guys' biggest pet peeves when it comes to movies and television?
Pet peeves. Okay. Well.
Should I start us off again?
Yeah. Start us off again.
And I don't know like the official term for it. You can chime in anytime. Or Jade, I think you and I thought Jade behind the camera being awesome. You told me it a while ago, but I don't remember. I don't like it in movies and TV shows, especially like this is really common in this is really common in horror movies where there's a sound in the movie that the characters very obviously hear, but then the sound keeps going on and the characters stop reacting to it. So we don't know if we, as the audience, are hearing like that sound now, or if the characters are still too.
Interesting.
I didn't agree with you. I just said that that's called like when it moves from diegetic to non-diegetic.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you the terminology. I don't mind it at all.
If the mic didn't pick that up, it's diegetic to non-diegetic.
It's
That's usually
this
for
is
music,
story world,
though. That's
yeah.
not usually for
He's saying that
sounds.
when like a sound effect transitions into the soundtrack.
Okay.
So like I don't know. Like have you seen in films where there's someone playing an instrument, but then it like transitions into maybe like a larger symphony, like that, just like that's over the
Okay.
action.
Like if
Yeah.
someone were to like, there's this like always a shot where the person like picks up the needle for the record player and puts it down, and then they start listening to the music, but then they leave the room for some reason.
And the music
And
keeps
that music
going
is
on.
still
I thought you were
playing.
talking about sound effects, not music.
No. Well, it can be music, but it can also be like sound effects in horror movies. Like they hear a sound, and then that like alerts them to like the serial killer or whatever. But then we as the audience keep hearing the sound, but they're not reacting to it anymore. It's the same concept, and it's equally annoying to me.
Yeah, well, with music, that's definitely the case of moving from diegetic to non-diegetic. I just saw the mic move again, Ian. Watch your foot.
I'll move it back.
Well, I'm sure that everyone heard it, but yeah. Yeah, that's definitely moving from diegetic to non-diegetic, which is just a thing
It takes
that
me
people
out
have
of
to do.
It takes me out of what I'm watching every time.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Ian, what you got?
Pet peeve. I don't really know a specific pet peeve. Maybe just
Come on, you're a film major.
bad acting. Is that a pet peeve that I can have?
Can
Is
be.
that not allowed?
I mean,
Because that's pretty broad.
it's not super specific
You can
or
tell
anything.
in some movies when
Yeah, like
actors
what
are
kind of
kind
bad
phoning
acting?
it in.
I guess
There's
when
so many
it's-
different types.
when they like when an actor goes way overboard and it doesn't make any sense and it's not and there's no purpose for going way overboard, I guess. And I feel like normally when you do it, they do that, it's because they can't rein it in and find that
Really?
happy medium.
So you don't like
of, like,
Jim Carrey?
I can no, if it's done intentionally, it's okay. But like I feel like sometimes an actor does it because they can't rein it in and really give a precise feeling to something. But normally this wouldn't apply to comedies just because comedy's a different.
Well, Jim
Beast.
Carrey's... He has roles that he's not comedy, and he's still very much Jim Carrey.
Spider-Man 3 was the first thing that came to mind for me.
With Tobey Maguire? Or
Yeah.
with... Okay. Yeah.
That movie suffers from a lot of
Overacting.
unintentional overacting. Yeah.
Yeah, not a great.
Well, when emo Parker is
Yep.
a plot point.
Yeah. I feel like subtleties.
Yeah.
The
I feel-
dancing montage. Yeah.
I feel like I like subtleties in characters, I guess.
Depends on the
And it,
genre
again,
and
it depends on what you're watching.
whether they pull it off correctly. I mean,
Yeah.
Saul Goodman isn't a very subtle
No, but he's
character, but
fantastic.
he might be my favorite character in Breaking Bad.
Yeah, no, he's excellent.
So
I don't really have a specific peeve. It really depends on the genre, the movie, just a lot of things.
Yeah. All right, Andrew.
I guess I don't really have any pet peeves, but I saw Silence of the Lambs last night.
Oh, you guys watched that?
Yeah.
You did?
Hadn't ever seen it before.
35mm.
Oh,
Yeah, I was on 35.
Darn it! I should have went.
It was pretty good.
I didn't know it was on 35. They didn't say.
I know they never tell you. You either watch a DVD or like an original copy.
Yeah, and the DVD is.
It's
Who
a
cares?
DVD
I can
copy.
just watch that anywhere.
Isn't it?
35
I think it's on
millimeter should've went.
Netflix.
Yeah.
Oh,
Silence of the
really?
Lambs is on Netflix.
But what I really liked about that movie was in the end scene, the concept of like darkness, like blackness, like not being able to see. I didn't really notice this in a lot of films, but if the lights turn off or it's completely dark out or someone's in like a dark room, usually we as an audience can still somewhat see, even though it's like highly implied that the actors, the characters,
Yeah.
cannot see a thing.
The power of blue light.
Yeah, the power of blue light. You know, you're walking through the forest and it's supposed to be super dark, or it's like in a basement. We, as an audience, can still see that. And like looking back, I think that kind of took me out of a lot of horror movies or like suspense movies.
Without realizing it.
Without realizing
where there's
it.
black. So you
Yeah.
like it when there's not the blue light, or you need the blue light to be there.
No,
No,
he doesn't want the.
I don't.
blue
I don't
light.
want the blue
He
light.
thinks it's dumb.
Well, because like Silence of the Lambs,
They came up with a narrative device to get
Yeah.
around it.
Yeah.
she's in the basement of this like house that has no windows in the basement, and the serial killer turns the light off, and Jodie Foster's character is absolutely horrified. And in the movie, it had been established that the serial killer had been using night vision goggles before, and then he retrieved those and put them on, and he like stalks her around
And you
the basement.
see his perspective,
Yeah.
so that you can.
It's this POV shot of Jodie
Yep.
Foster in this, green light because she can't see anything, and she's tripping over everything and like jumping around, and it's really good.
Yeah, no, it's terrifying too because
Yeah.
you know that and then he reaches out at one
And
point.
he almost
he's about
touches
to touch her,
hand.
and then he just kind of pulls back.
Yeah.
It's just it's something. It's, very
scary.
well done.
Yeah.
It's a great movie. My pet peeve is definitely distracting cuts in action films. There are some of the worst, the most egregious offenders. The biggest one that I've ever seen is in one of the Taken films. I'm not sure which one. I think there is 16 cuts in 3 seconds to show Liam Neeson jumping over a fence. It is him approaching the fence, and then 16 cuts, and then he's over the fence. And it is just the most distracting,
Is it
terrible thing I've ever
the
seen.
slow mo like it shows him jumping over, then shows him
wouldn't
from
be
a different
slow-mo if it
angle?
was
No, it's not
Yeah.
slow mo.
If it was that short time.
He grabs the fence. He starts to pull himself. He switch to a different angle as he's starting to climb over. His leg swings over. His other leg swings over. He lets go of a fence. Like it's just literally 16 cuts between the time when he approaches the fence to when he's over the fence, and it's like in 5 seconds.
It's intensified continuity.
No, that is not intensified continuity. That is just trash. That is all that is. That is trying to make a 60-year-old.
We're coming for you, Liam Neeson.
It is trying to make a 60-year-old look like an action hero because he can't even really jump a fence anymore, apparently. I don't know why they would have to do that. Couldn't he just jump the fence? It was dumb.
Well, the crazy thing to keep in mind, too, is to record that, they either would have had to have 16 cameras, or they made 60-year-old Liam Neeson jump a fence like
Or
20 times.
Most likely it was probably a stunt double and then like 3 or 4 cameras.
Where like this
That's double the
Oh, yeah, totally.
Oh,
Well,
my
they
God.
rarely showed his face in it. It was like, oh, his leg is touching it. Now his hand is grasping. Now his other leg's swinging over.
Can you give another example? Because like that's obviously kind of an extreme.
Oh, it's totally an extreme.
Yeah.
But if you pay close attention to action sequences, when they're trying to ramp up tension, that's all they do. Transformers does it a ton too.
Wait,
Just a
I don't
bunch
think
of
anyone's
cuts.
Like
gonna say that
non-continuity
Transformers
cuts
is a
or like-
bastion
No,
of
continuity cuts.
action cinema.
Okay, they're just like ones that are unnecessary. You're just
Yeah, just
Okay.
excessive. When it gets to the excessive, I'm fine with a small average shot length. Obviously, that's almost a requirement for action films nowadays.
Yeah.
But there's a point where it's just, are you kidding me? How can you even fit that many cuts in that little time?
You had to have loved Fury Road then.
I did like Fury Road. There was so many they showed that action can be done with long takes.
Yep.
It was really fun.
I was just going to say, like, you wouldn't like Fury Road because, like, there's a motif of madness and there's a lot of...
No,
like,
they
you
use
can
long
do-
takes.
You can do confusion without
Yeah.
like a bunch of cuts.
Mad
You
Max.
can do
And it
very
wasn't really,
specifically.
if you're referring to the opening sequence specifically, it wasn't really cuts. It was, they
Oh, yeah, they-
specifically took out frames to make it
increase
like
the-
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
to increase anxiety and that kind of stuff.
It was very cool.
Yeah, Mad Max has a ton of long shots in it, or fairly long takes.
It's beautiful.
I mean,
It's a
long
very
shots.
pretty movie, like, the scenery and the lighting.
All right, what else? What are topics we got?
All right, so my only topic that I really have for today is what are some weird sports that you guys like? Sports that aren't, football, baseball, basketball, soccer, the big ones. What are some weird sports that you guys like to watch?
I just had to look mine up. It's not something that I like to watch very often, obviously, because there's not that much of it. But I think I've shown you guys some of it
The
before.
Daniel Tosh
This is,
did that, didn't he?
It might be. This is Bo Toshi. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. It is Japanese pole toppling. That is what the sport roughly translates to. Basically, there is a defending team that is in usually like white or some other like kind of neutral color, and then an attacking team, which is usually in a more aggressive like red color or something like that.
Okay.
And then the red team charges the white team. Or I guess I didn't explain very well. The defending team has a pole in the middle of them. It's usually like a telephone pole size, like pretty thick, big enough for like people to like stand on and stuff. Apparently that's a thing that they usually have is someone standing on the very top of the pole on the defending team to try to like help it stay steady and everything like that. And then it's like 100 people on each team. So it's just a massive brawl. Like the attacking team just comes charging in, just knocking people over, like trying to get to the pole. And the end strategy ends up being the attacking team forms like a bridge with their bodies, and then the other people start running up it and grabbing the pole and trying to drag it down slowly, while the defending team's trying to prop it up, and it is amazing. I've never watched it live or anything, and I don't think it's very big.
I'm gonna have to look this up.
It is one of the most entertaining things I've ever seen.
I know it was like a clip on, damn it. I know it was a clip on Tosh a while ago.
Yeah, I think that's what Ian was saying, and that might be where I found it from. But basically, I mean, some of the most entertaining moments, like when the guy on top of the pole is sitting up there and the whole attacking team is trying to pull him down, and he's just sitting there like kicking like for his life, like he's like 10 feet in the air, just trying to frantically kick these people away that are all trying to rip him off the pole. It is amazing. It is so fun to watch, and I would definitely count that as a weird sport.
How long does it usually take? Does this happen like within a minute?
It usually happens pretty quickly.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't even really know the rules, like how long the defending team has to keep it up before the attacking team loses.
Or if
But
it's like you switch at some,
I
point,
think
and
you
then
switch, but
whoever has the best time.
that might be it
Yeah.
too. Yeah, I think in the end it might be an inevitability that the pole is gonna come down because they have it worked out. There's a lot of strategy involved, and it's kind of awesome. Because there's no real large-scale sports that I can think of, like at least on that scale, with just hundreds of people like all rushing, and smashing into each other, all at like the same objective. So that's very fun. What do you guys got?
Do you want to go next, or?
The weird sports that I like are mostly just things that I watch during the Olympics. Like, I really like watching snowboarding, whether it's, the half pipe or the downhill, snowboarding, skiing, that kind of stuff.
It's not weird.
Yeah, it really isn't that weird.
It's a little weird. I mean,
It's a little weird.
I would never watch snowboarding live.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Water polo.
Ooh.
I like watching the people
I
try
watched
to
a
drown
match
others.
during the Summer Olympics. It was women's water polo too.
Yeah,
It
women's
was
water polo is
intense.
pretty intense.
So that was fun.
Like fencing, that kind of stuff.
Really, fencing.
Well, because it's not like what you see in the movies. I don't
Yeah.
actually actively watch fencing, but in the movies, like there's a lot of like grace and like people like sidestepping. In like actual fencing, people just charge at each other and try to stab the other person first. It's more like pokey, stabby.
Pokey, stabby, stabby. It sounds like a fun sport.
I saw a concept video, which is again from like a Japanese company, I think, where they like do all these highlights on the sword and everything to show like the movements that the sword's making through the air. So to more, I don't know, accentuate the sport, because most people are just watching people with swords swinging at each other, but they can highlight the you know, the subtleties of the
The
sport a little bit more.
finesse.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
that. So I thought that was pretty cool, and that's on YouTube somewhere as well. I've just got a bunch of YouTube videos
YouTube.
in the repertoire. All right, Ian, hit us up.
I'm gonna go with foot volley. It's basically volleyball, except you can only use your feet.
Really?
Yep.
Is that real?
Yeah, it's real. It's a Brazilian sport.
Huh.
And I know you can play it on the beach, or there was one time where they were like inside a court, and like every single time they try to strike, they do a bicycle kick,
Wow.
and it was quite impressive.
That's pretty
It's
awesome.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
I was also gonna say horse racing, but I'm assuming
Do you watch horse
Kentucky,
racing?
if it's like the Derby.
A lot of
or the
people do that,
Preakness.
yeah. I just assume that you actually like.
No,
enjoy
like I like
horse
the
racing.
three,
Oh.
the big three, the Belmont.
Belmont,
Preakness and
Preakness,
the-
and Kentucky Derby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm barely a mainstream sports guy, so I'm just gonna list
Football.
off a bunch of sports I think are weird, and
Football.
you guys tell me whether or not those
Yeah.
are actually weird. Okay?
Okay.
Sure.
Rugby.
No,
It's not really
It's,
weird.
it's weird in America.
It's not. It's a pretty popular sport.
Like
in
around-
America?
Oh,
No, no, no,
around
just-
the
I'm
world.
just saying,
Oh yeah, I'm saying
Yeah.
it's weird for an American to be
I
like
know a
rugby.
lot of people that play rugby.
Yeah, I'd say rugby and cricket are two sports that are huge around the world,
Yeah,
but
that's fair.
America,
Okay.
it's a little weird to watch them.
Capoeira.
What is
Capoeira
that?
is
I
a
don't know what that is.
dance. It's
Brazilian dance fighting.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
It's a type of
like
martial art.
taekwondo, yeah.
It's technically a martial art, but it's like a dance.
Huh.
You like spin
Okay.
around and kick people, like sweep with the legs a lot. It's,
Invented by Brazilian slaves so they could fight while chained up.
What?
Yeah, no, everything about it sounds really cool,
Is that cool?
but in practice, it's,
Why is that so desirable to them that they needed to invent something so that they could fight each other while they're enslaved
so they could,
together?
like, fight
maybe
their
it's like
masters.
yeah. It's like rebellion. So it's like a rebellion art.
Oh.
yeah,
That is so much cooler. I thought they were fighting their fellow slaves. I'm
No.
like, why
No.
did they need to
Oh,
invent
God,
that?
no.
Oh yeah, my favorite sport's Mandingo fighting.
Yeah, we're gonna edit that out.
There's nothing offensive about it. It's
There's
just-
nothing offensive. It's just
no,
fucked up.
it's pretty offensive.
It's just fucked up. That's all it is.
Dodgeball.
Is that a sport?
I mean,
If
it's-
you throw the
it's-
ball hard
That's
enough,
not like televised.
It's
or
more
According
of
to
a
the
sport
floor
than
of the average
esports.
Joes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, it is a sport.
there's a movie about dodgeball.
There's a It's a comedy movie.
Oh, it is.
Making fun of like how it's not a sport. It's on ESPN 8, the Ocho,
the Ocho.
with like tractor racing and other stuff like that. It's just not sports
Can I
at
change
all.
mine to tractor racing?
Yeah, full on tractor racing. I don't know.
Competitive eating.
That is not a sport. That is just
I
not
mean-
a sport.
If they do it with like quick twitch motion, like
Oh, like the way that Chinese
twitch?
people eat rice with chopsticks. Just
that's impressive.
Oh,
it's-
my god!
I just get it all over my
extreme,
fruit,
like
my shirt.
technical ping pong, where they can
Ooh.
like make the ball like curve in the air. And
Ping
Did you see that video that
Yeah.
the Japanese one?
Mm-hmm.
Oh crap! They do such crazy stuff.
I know.
They're like not
They, like,
they're lighting a match head with a ping pong ball and stuff.
Yeah.
Like they're so precise. It's insane.
Yeah.
I wonder where I can even find that.
The guy
video,
like
but-
hit it so it like swung underneath the table and then back up on
Yeah.
the table. It's
No,
pretty
they're
crazy.
They're next
It's
level.
insane.
I mean, that's not normal. Like they wouldn't be actual good ping pong players. It's like it's the equivalent of
practice.
basketball trick shotting. Like
Yeah.
they might be semi decent, but they're not professional ping pong players. They just have a lot of tricks up their sleeve.
Any e-sport.
That's not a sport.
Not a sport. It's a game.
Not a sport at all.
It's as much of a sport as chess is a sport.
Yeah.
It's fun. You can say that it's fun. It can
I'm-
even be competitive.
I'm
but
not
it's
dissing
a sport.
esports. I think esports is pretty
Wait.
awesome. It's not a sport.
What about
It's called an
professional?
esport for a reason.
What about professional hacky sack? I don't know if that's a thing
It's,
or not.
it's not a thing, I don't think. But
Yeah, one
I'd
Adam
I'd say
Sandler
professional
movie.
hacky sack is definitely more of a sport than esports. Or I'd say it's almost more of a sport than like bowling or golf.
Okay, what about
You're
Fight
running
Club?
around.
I'd say golf is more of a sport. You know.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But-
For me, it's a lot more physical activity. I know it. I think
Oh.
it is a sport, but
I guess it does require it. Like it's a precision sport, obviously.
I think it is a sport. I'm just saying that hacky sack, you can get pretty active. I could see professional hacky sack becoming pretty active and
Badminton.
everything.
Another.
Badminton, legit.
Yeah,
That's an
badminton.
Olympic sport.
It's
Okay.
very
What
similar
about
to
ultimate
tennis.
frisbee?
Have you ever played Ultimate
Ultimate's
Frisbee?
legit.
Yeah,
it's cool.
It's hard.
Really?
I like
it's
that.
very.
I'm terrible
yeah.
at Ultimate. I don't like playing it just because I'm so bad at it.
It's fun.
It's
Also, they prefer Ultimate now. Ultimate Frisbee.
Frisbee's
Oh.
the company.
Frisbee's a brand.
Frisbee's the
Frisbee's
brand.
a corporate
Oh,
sellout.
yeah.
No, that's 100%
Yeah.
the reason too.
Yeah.
So the
So they all
sport is
just call it
just
Ultimate.
ultimate.
They
I
call it
thought
Ultimate.
when I played Ultimate in high school, it was just everyone trying to sound cool.
No, it's
no.
dumb. I just call it
they
Frisbee.
legitimately call it. Ooh.
You guys want to go play Frisbee? Can we just call it like disc football?
Ooh.
Disc ball.
Disc
that's
golf.
basically what it
There we
is.
go.
Yeah.
Did any of you play that in high school?
I
Disc
played
golf?
it.
Throwing it in the basket.
Disc golf or Ultimate Frisbee?
Disc golf.
Yeah, I
Oh,
played disc golf.
I
for
played
a
it
unit.
twice with the cross country team for fun.
My
But
like entire high school grounds was one giant disc golf course.
Mhm.
So progressive.
we had
We had
one.
that too.
We had one in the public Riverside Park where I grew up. There was an Ultimate Frisbee course there.
Our high school had a disc golf course as well. It was just like all around the high school, so it was pretty cool. But Michael likes disc golf a lot. I know.
Michael Scott.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun. I'm just really bad at it because it's the precision.
Yeah,
throw.
I'm terrible
Yeah.
at
You know
anything to
that
do
quick
with
twitch muscle fiber.
anything to do with a disc.
Anything
not a
to do with
Frisbee.
precision, I am bad at.
Yeah, really,
Yeah, golf.
What about
bowling,
manhunting?
I'm very bad at bowling.
really.
I've never hunted. Like,
Man.
Manhunting isn't so much about precision.
yeah. But, like,
Manhunting is
most
outsmarting
precision.
your prey.
Like, I can
It's the most
catch.
dangerous game.
Okay, I can run. I don't know anymore. But
I haven't run in years.
yeah.
That
It's
life's
been a
behind
while.
me. All right, Ian, you need to bring a topic. I don't think you've had a single topic
No, I
ever
have
on this
not.
podcast. Think of one off the top of your head.
What is
Your favorite color?
what's really funny is I was gonna say that, but then I was like, let's not do color. What is the most exciting thing you've ever done in your life?
Okay.
I
You could have phrased that way more excitedly.
Oh, I-
You're talking
I
about the
was-
most exciting thing we've ever done in
I-
our
I
life,
was
and you
thinking-
said it
on the spot.
as deadpan as you can possibly.
I was thinking on the spot, to be honest.
Usually, you don't structure a sentence on the
Oh,
spot.
no, I
though.
do it
Usually,
all the
you
time.
think for a couple seconds, and then say
I can't think though. That's
No,
the
you
problem.
gotta say a word and then you gotta think of another word
that
afterwards.
follows it.
Yes.
Like when you hit the middle thing on your phone and just
Yeah.
type out a conversation by doing that.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay, so most exciting thing in our life. Ian, lead us off.
I can't. I don't have any stories.
I can do recently. I can't
think
objectively
recently.
think of like.
Yeah.
Damn it! I can't objectively think of the best thing in my life.
Okay.
But I can do recently.
All right, do it.
Alrighty. So on my dinner break over the weekend, I'm like at a pizza place. Nope. I'm at a pizza place nearby. I place my order. I'm waiting to pick it up, and then a bunch of drunken Ohio State fans come in.
Ooh, boy.
So then they're waiting behind me, and the couple, guy and a girl, are looking for the water cups that are free and like anyone can get. And I apparently was standing right in front of them, not realizing it. So the guy grabs onto me by the shoulders and moves me so he and his girl can get to it. So I just say to him, buddy, come on, don't. If you want me to move, just ask. Don't, put hands on me. Don't physically move me. His response is, well, you shouldn't have been in the way, bro.
Oh my god.
And I'm just like, now I'm not saying like in this case since I'm telling the story. I'm just like, whatever, jackass. And I go across the room like waiting for my order. Thought that situation would have ended, but his girl escalates it by saying
His
to
girl was all about
Hey,
it.
girl.
No, his girl was like, well, are you going to let him talk to you like that?
Jeez.
And then he's just shooting me like the stink guy from across the room for like a minute or two, but then my order gets called up and I get the hell out of there.
Jeez. Was that at Ian's or where was it?
Yeah, that was at Ian's Pizza on State Street.
That guy could have had a gun.
Oh God.
And I don't like engaging in situations like that, but I feel like you have to have a line in the sand somewhere, and I feel like somebody literally pushing me around
Yeah.
is a good place to draw that line.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
kind of a line.
You don't,
Yeah.
you don't have to be
Physical contact.
like, you offended me slightly for reasons that you may not even know about.
Fisticuffs.
Fisticuffs. But yeah, if he like picks you up and moves you.
I would not have been
Yeah.
good with
That no.
Yeah.
I think I got one though.
Bring it.
I think you inspired me. The 38-1 Kentucky Wildcats
Ooh.
when they fell to the Wisconsin Badgers.
That was very exciting.
That was a very exciting game, and then an exciting State Street rush for all of our Madison followers. Pretty great time.
Yeah.
I was in Kentucky during that game.
Yeah,
I
I was
remember.
also on spring break out there,
Yeah,
so I missed it as well. I was there for the national championship game,
yeah, that we
which
lost.
was more
It
disappointing.
was
Yeah.
not as exciting,
A little more disappointing, but
but
that's all right.
38-1. You know, you live up to those memories.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
So that's mine.
If you don't have one, I got one.
Yeah, I don't know if I have one.
2008, you Wisconsin people know the crazy flooding that happened here.
Mhm.
Just how many inches of rain in a night? Like, just out of control rain,
Mm-hmm.
intense flooding. My area got destroyed. Local village basically was underwater. Like, it was out of control flooding. And I took, Ian, you were there, at Lake Redstone,
Yes.
near my hometown.
Yep.
There is a waterfall that you could jump off of, like just a little bit of a cliff jump. As a little kid, I was probably like, 11 or 12 when, well, I know exactly how old I was. I was 12 years old because 12 years after 1996 is 2008. So I was 12, and basically the flooding had raised the water level of this little pond that you could jump off the water. No, it was good. That you could jump off the waterfall to land in to pretty high. It was probably like 15, 20 feet deep, whereas it was usually like 6 or 7 feet. So like to jump off of a waterfall into there was a little sketchy. You had to like tuck your legs and jump into a very specific area of the pond. And, people probably got hurt doing that a lot. So now it was like basically 100% safe because it was so deep.
100% safe.
Okay, not 100%.
Safe enough.
Not 100%.
It was-
wasn't.
It was
we weren't
safe
jumping
enough.
like 100 feet off of a cliff. It was like, 25, 30 feet. Like, it was fun. And I basically just spent the entire day jumping, doing flips, going crazy. It was just a total blast, making like the best out of a terrible situation. We were all going through a rough time. Our middle school was underwater. Like, it was a very hard time, and we grouped together, we went out, and we made a fun time out of it. And since they have filled in the pond so that people can no longer jump in there because, like I said, when it's normal levels, it's a little bit sketchy to jump off. So
Where I thought you were going with that, there's a quarry kind of near where he and I grew up.
The infamous red granite quarry. Yeah.
And every year, without fail, one or two people die jumping into there
Yeah,
because they don't know to look for hidden rocks.
Yeah, I don't know if
essentially.
there has been a year that someone hasn't died there in the past, like
How many
10
people
years.
doing exactly
how
what you
many
just
people
described.
jump into the quarry?
how far is it? Like, how big of a drop?
I've only been there once, and I'm really bad at distances. But there's 2 drops, like one that's like fine. It's like 10, 15 feet. Like, it's not that bad.
But fun.
Yeah, and then there's another one that's like really high up, and it's like 30,
That's
40
probably the
feet.
one where people die from.
Which,
Yeah.
well, it's that, not knowing how to like jump into water like that properly, but also he was describing like the 2 major spots where people jump off of that are known to be safer. But if you get people jumping in at just random places, they don't know to like literally look before you leap to make sure there aren't rocks like 3 feet under the water
How many
surface or anything
people-
like that.
So if there's one person that dies a year, how many people do you think visit though?
Oh, it's
Hundreds,
ex-
thousands.
extremely popular.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I feel like in other places in Wisconsin, there's so many quarries that are now like lakes that everyone like sources of recreation.
Yeah.
Like Michael has that
Yeah.
down in southeast, and you guys have that in more central Wisconsin. We didn't really we have quarries, but they're still active. So that's not a place you want to swim.
Well, it's because Berlin is tapped out economically.
really? Got it. Well,
The mines aren't functional anymore.
yeah, ours are all quartz mining, so it's less. You guys might have been like lead way back in the day when everyone, like when Wisconsin was first becoming
Fur
a
trade
state.
actually was the big one where we
Well,
grew up.
I thought not mining.
The quarry was big for.
Fur
They were
trading.
fur trade mining.
Well,
they were mining the furs out and then they would refine it.
There is Badger Mining, which is like a Fortune 500 company that's based out of Berlin.
Oh, really?
And like they're still like they do a lot of like sand mining. and
Are they
that
still a
stuff.
Fortune 500 company?
I think they still are. Yeah.
That's impressive.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's only 500 of those.
Thanks, Ian.
Thanks, Ian.
It's a good one right there.
So I don't have a most exciting memory,
Just
but
pick any.
but
exciting
like
memory.
I was thinking like the most like revved up I got, like the most scared I was.
You got out of control
Maxing
there.
out doing
That
curls
was-
back in high school.
What?
Maxing out doing curls back in high school.
Don't do that.
No.
That's a terrible
Whoa.
idea.
No,
Stop.
it is. I did it. It's a very bad idea. But so probably the most scared that I ever was, that like I was like super excited afterwards, was I went to the Wisconsin Dells and went to Mount Olympus, and I had this irrational fear of, okay, I guess not irrational, but I had a really big fear of roller coasters.
Oh.
And the biggest drop in that park, at least, yeah, Hades, the best,
156 feet, I think.
yeah, it might be the biggest drop in the Dells.
Oh yeah, 100% biggest
Okay.
drop in the Dells.
And it's like probably the best roller coaster in the park.
And
Um,
the Dells too.
Lucas, I was like probably like 12 at the time, 12, 13. Lucas convinced me to go on it, and I was terrified. We walk all the way to the top. It's like a half-hour wait because it's so popular, and I was terrified the whole time. And we sit in the very front row.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh man, I'm so scared, and my seatbelt won't buckle. And then Lucas is like, nah, man, it doesn't matter. Like, you still have the shoulder strap.
Oh, there's no shoulder. It's
No,
a
no,
belt.
No. There was a belt, and there was like the shoulder thing that goes down.
Overhead on
Yeah,
Hades?
yeah. It like goes
I
down,
don't think so.
and it like it's like the U that goes up. No, absolutely.
I can contest to this. I've been on it like
It-
4 times.
It
I've
does.
been on Hades more than
And
that.
I know.
Because it goes
No.
upside down now, but he went on it before that.
Here's the thing. I know it does because when we started moving forward, it unlocked, sprung up into the upright position, and locked there, and I couldn't pull it down as we were going up this, big hill slowly.
drop.
So I had no seatbelt, and the shoulder lock was stuck in the upright position, and I couldn't move it down. So I'm about to go off this 100 whatever foot drop, and I'm completely defenseless. Lucas is freaking out. The people behind us are screaming. I'm like, I'm gonna die. There's nothing to hold onto. So I just kind of like press my legs up against the front and try to like hold onto the seat. And we go down the drop, and I like am kind of flying out because of centripetal force or what have you. I'm not a physicist. And Lucas is holding onto my belt. And I am 100% sure that I am going to die.
Jeez.
Because then we go down in, like, there's an underground part, and it's completely black. I can't see what's happening. I've never been on this roller coaster before. And we're twisting and turning, and we go on another drop. And, like, I'm just being thrown around this cart, and I almost fall out, like, 3 or 4 different times. And then we get done, and I am just, like, heart racing. Like, I tell the guys, like, hey, fix this. Like, this doesn't work. And I'm like, let's go on it again. Like, that completely erased my fear of roller coasters.
Really?
Because I'm like, that's like a 1 out of 1,000 chance, or 1 out of a million
Oh, it's
chance.
more than that, yeah.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Considering how many guests go through there every day,
yeah,
it's
like
a lot more
that
than
will never statistically happen to me again.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a gambler's
Oh,
fallacy.
goodness
I
gracious.
know, I understand. The law of averages doesn't
Dude.
work.
I never want to go on a roller coaster again.
Yeah, no, like,
Oh my goodness.
it just, I kind of thought, like, it can't get worse than that.
Oh.
And, like, besides the almost dying, I had a lot of
almost
fun.
dying. That's as bad as
And
it
like,
gets.
we immediately got back in line, and I had a great time, and I love roller coasters now. Like, I absolutely love roller coasters. Maybe I'm a little crazy. Maybe.
I have a much more lighthearted roller coaster story
Short topic.
that these guys can attest to. Summer trip at Six Flags.
Oh, yeah.
In line for what was one of the? It was like the second time we had gone on it. I want Raging Bull.
Raging
maybe?
Bull is the big one.
Yeah. So we're at the end of the line, like about to get on it again for the second time that day. It's later. Park's gonna close in like an hour or two. This guy starts like walking out of the line though, which is really weird since like we're right close to the end of it, and was very disgruntled. Walks past us, bumps into the girl that was immediately behind us, and he immediately apologizes to her, and she's like, "Oh, don't worry about it. You okay though? You seem a little out of it." And his response is priceless. Well, when I got in line, I was in a committed relationship, but now I'm not. So, fuck it. And I know nothing about the actual dynamics of that situation, but I like to imagine that they broke up in line for the
Yeah.
roller coaster,
Yeah.
and then one of them had to find a different ride home or
Like
something.
So you don't think that he like was texting his girlfriend and like they broke up or like they called or whatever? You think that they went to that theme park together and broke up in the middle of the line and then
Yeah.
like one of them now doesn't have a ride home.
Yep, and now every time one of them goes to Six Flags or rides Raging Bull, that memory is going to be
reminded.
forever associated with it.
Yeah.
You can scream, you can shout, but we're not gonna let you out. That became a meme among all the employees at Six Flags had different rhymes that they would do. Just I don't even know any other ones, but our favorite was definitely "You can scream, you can shout, but it's too late to let you out." And it was just we had like somewhere we thought that we were all gonna die or something like that, and it was pretty great.
The enthusiasm of the announcers could also be directly correlated with how long they'd been working there.
Oh yeah,
It was
I have a
super
feeling.
obvious.
Without a doubt. And a lot of the people that were clearly international workers, they were the ones that were way like over the top, like, oh, this is so great. And their English might have been a little off, but they were really into it, whereas all the people that spoke English who had probably worked there for multiple summers were just not having any of it. Just, all right, I have to say this because it is my job. Have fun. Then there was the one that did a lot of loops, but it was kind of smaller.
Yeah,
They didn't
yeah.
even say anything. They were just like, and just sent us off, and we were like, oh. 'cause
What
we were all
about the
looking
safety
forward.
procedures? Tell me about the safety procedures.
Well, we were all just looking forward to their cute little rhymes because it was definitely a spicy meme amongst us. We were just having a blast with
That's
it.
by far like my favorite phrase that you've said over the past couple of weeks.
Spicy
Spicy
meme?
memes.
Spicy memes, they've
Yeah.
definitely become a
Because I still
big
don't.
part of my everyday life.
I still don't know the full context of what makes
Even
a
if they're
meme
not
spicy.
a meme. No, I mean a meme is
Like
spicy is
like
equal
some-
to fresh.
So if someone says like
And
a one-off
spicy.
joke, just like a funny thing, you're like, ha, that was spicy.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a good adjective for everything because I mean it means like fresh. It means
Is
it's
the-
not really recycled. How much comedy nowadays is just completely recycled from everything else?
Is the term spicy a meme to you now?
Ooh, it has kind of become a meme.
Yeah.
Spicy memes is kind of its
So,
own meme.
Will spicy
Oh, it'll
eventually become
spicy will
stale?
become a stagnant meme. It's already on a downward trajectory. I'll tell you that much. If I'm the meme connoisseur who's talking about different stock values of memes,
Yeah, I was gonna say you're like a
spicy
meme
meme is
stock.
dying.
What about
Sell,
zesty?
Sell on spicy memes.
What about zesty memes?
Zesty memes is definitely even older. Zesty is worse than spicy. Zesty.
I've never heard zesty meme before.
Oh well, it's a meme page. It's like zesty memes for.
Cucked up teens.
Yeah, it's a lot of really bad ones.
How much time does Harambe have left?
Oh, Harambe's done.
Harambe's
I
dead.
think
al-
Harambe's dead in the water.
Harambe's
I haven't seen
dead
a
again.
Harambe meme in a couple
Oh no,
weeks.
I have. I still see Harambe memes, but like I never thought they were funny.
Oh.
So I have no idea if people think they're still funny or not.
I think Harambe is pretty dead. Like dead.
Harambe
He's
died
been
again.
dead for a
Oh,
couple of
man.
months.
Harambe died again.
The gorilla himself is dead,
So,
and the meme that was keeping him alive.
The spirit of
is
Harambe.
also-
Spirit
in
is
another
alive.
month or two, it's going to come back a little bit for the third time. Ironic Harambe memes, and then
For me, all Harambe memes were ironic.
What if it was the spirit
Yeah,
of
that was-
Harambe?
I never liked Harambe memes, and that was a topic.
That was
a
from
couple weeks
podcast
ago.
1.
why do you have to
Throwback.
hate people's grieving process, Andrew?
Yeah, we were all
They were
struggling to
dealing
deal
with
We were
that.
struggling to cope with the loss of our beloved,
Oh my
our
god.
beloved gorilla, mountain silverback Harambe.
And now Pepe is racist, so the internet is ruined.
Yeah, Pepe and Harambe are gone. Therefore, the internet is dead.
Pepe and Harambe should not have been bastions of the internet. I hated both of those memes.
I mean, did you see the UW Meme County one with the Sift and Winnow? The most recent post, or second most recent.
I
guess.
should really follow you.
Oh yeah, you need to get Meme County on your Facebook, but
Because our friend Shane. Should I?
I don't know if,
I don't know.
if that's well known.
Shaquille O'Neal.
Our
has
guy
that
that we
meme
don't
page.
know.
Our friend.
Who shall not be
Sean
named.
Anthony.
Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah, Anthony.
He's
Angela.
Anthony.
That got old pretty quick.
No, I like it's a good page, and the second most recent one is like the how many levels are you, and then the guy's like, oh, I don't know, 5 or 6 maybe. That's kind of becoming a little more spicy.
How many
You know, it's a little
levels
old.
are you?
It's like a 4-panel comic meme. So it's the first one is, for example, on this Meme County, it was Bucky, but he's kind of like tripped out because that's the format of the meme. You know how Patrick and SpongeBob for a while it was like the blur effect and everything like that. So now it was Bucky, but with a little bit of blur, and he's like, "How many levels of sifting and winnowing are you at right now?"
I
And then
don't
it's
get that though.
Sift and winnow. It's It's like
I know, but like
the process of UW-Madison.
right,
sort of thing.
but I don't understand the leveling part.
Oh.
Is it called like levels?
It's just to make fun of it. Like
Oh.
it's like saying I'll have one marijuana, please.
Oh,
like
okay.
how many levels of sifting and winnowing are you
Okay.
on? And then it's some dude who looks like kind of lame, and he's like, I don't know, man, maybe 5 or 6, and he's like, you are like a little baby, and then it's just watch this, and then it just goes boom, like Bucky. That's more of a spicy meme that's
Okay.
kind of coming out of the woodwork.
Calling it right now. Keep your eyes out. Alolan Dugtrio from the newest Pokemon games. That's going to be an internet meme.
Oh, what?
Alolan Dugtrio.
What's
So
that?
it's a gorilla?
Nope. You guys know the Pokemon Dugtrio? Just
Yeah.
like the 3
Evolution.
mole
I
heads
don't.
sticking out of the ground.
Is it
Their
5?
new like regional form. Those 3 things, but with surfer hair. Blonde surfer hair.
What?
This is real.
What does lowland mean?
No, no.
Alola is the new region. in
Oh,
the new,
Alolan.
Alolan,
I thought
yeah.
you were saying lowland.
No,
like
no,
as
no,
in
Alolan.
lowland
Like,
silverback
it's,
gorilla.
It's a new region. They're like a bunch of old Pokemon have new forms in it to like keep old fans happy now, and that's
Like a
the-
blonde,
Yeah,
like a blonde Pikachu.
Yeah, isn't
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, isn't like the Alola Pikachu like he's surfing on his tail? or
that's
something?
Raichu.
Raichu. Okay.
Got it. Well, as you can probably hear, it is Karate O'Clock once again. That'll be the end of our podcast. So thank you very much for watching episode 3 of the Hilariously Terrible podcast. Their karate has become dabbing, so it is time to wrap it up.
It's white
Thanks
people.
again.
It's white people karate.
All right. Bye.
See ya.